And I've never really felt fully like a truly, I don't know. There's sometimes I felt like a sexual being, but sometimes I feel like I like am trying to play a part, like a specific role, even though I am a sexual person. Um, I don't know. Like you got like there's I feel like growing up in the early 2000s, there's a type of body shape, right, you had to achieve, which at the time growing up, it was their heroin chic, like super skinny. And then as time went on, it was like the Kim Kardashian, like hourglass look, and then there's been a lot of stuff, but I've never really fit into any of the micro trends of beauty, or and maybe I've hit some of the macro ones. I mean, I've gotten approached at every single point of my life. I have always gotten approached. um, I'm a naturally attractive person, whatever, you know. And there's really not much I need to do to change to attract somebody, but in terms of like trends and stuff you need to follow, I thought I needed to be like a fashionable person when I was in high school, and then thought that I needed to like show off my legs and boobs. I didn't really like do that because my parents were strict, but like did it in the way that I could. Because I went to church also, and then college, I started working out, started lifting, and I just felt way better. And then grad school, I still felt good, but I gained some weight from stress. And post grad school, had a injury, gained more weight, and um, I've kind of like finally reached the weight that I am like naturally in after like losing 20 pounds this year. And the past like 5 years where it's been the most I would say the most drastic changes in my weight. Like in the past 5 years, I've been the lightest I've ever been, and also the heaviest I've ever been. And I've looked different at every stage. I've had different amounts of body fat and muscle mass, and I've looked very different. Like even the weight I am now, I was this same weight like 3 4 months ago, and I look completely different. Um, and around that time, it was a lot of things I was trying to reckon with. I was like putting on muscle for the first time, and it was weird because there'd be guys who would, I guess, in a way to flirt with me, would say that they could beat me wrestling, um, which I don't think is that impressive to do, but because I have muscles, I don't know. And I think it's this like weird masculization of me. Like, I don't know, I felt like I was being masculinized. Um, but, not every woman who puts on muscle gets treated more masculinely, but I am a black woman, so that changes that. I mean, look at like Serena Williams. She's a strong woman. How many times did people call her a man? Uh, how many times did people call Sierra a man? She's she was a lean woman who had some muscle. So I was trying to I didn't like people putting masculinity on me, right? Let me put it on myself if I need to. And I was also, felt more comfortable showing off my body. And it was also around the time I started having consensual sex. So that changes a lot of stuff. And then when I gained a bunch of weight, I also was trying to cover up a lot, um, or at least change the way that I dressed myself, and trying to experiment a lot more with like buying vintage and thrifting, and trying to be a little bit more unique with the way that I dress. Like, I didn't care if I dressed more androgynously, or I was trying to find my own version of like femininity and masculinity, especially because I was still lifting at the time, and um, even though I put on a lot of fat, I still was lifting, so you could probably even see the muscle more because there was more of me. Um, and I just like did not feel feminine at times, but there are times I just didn't care as much about feeling or presenting more feminine. And now that I am where I am, and I am at the age I am, and I am still single, I'm like thinking, do I need to dress more feminine to, I don't know, attract a partner? Um, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm like thinking about my style a lot. Like, I want to look trendy and cool, but I want to dress sustainably. And sometimes it's hard to dress trendy when you're trying to dress sustainably, because you either need a lot of money or you don't want to care about the environment. And I do care about the environment. And I have so many peers who are attractive but present themselves so differently. Like my cousin, who's younger than me, she's never had trouble finding a man, getting a man. She's like this like hyper feminine person, and she always dresses so nice and presents so well. She always has her nails done and her hair done, everything did. And it took me a while to be like, I should probably like get my nails done like regularly. Um, and then I have this friend who dresses like a mean lesbian, and she's a mean bisexual. She's a mean bisexual, and she dresses like a mean bisexual. And you know what? I think she's great, and she doesn't. I think she dresses mainly for comfort. And when she dresses up, she knows what to do and when, but she's not gonna overdo it because she doesn't got time for that. But she always hits it every time. And I have like so many people who present themselves so well, and I'm still trying to figure out like I guess who I am and what my like version of hot is. Um, and it's only been like recently where I'm like, yes, I am hot, and I always have been. Unfortunately, even if I've never, unfortunately, even if I've never thought that I was, or I struggled with believing it, I always have been, and and that's why I'm so funny. So, but how do I find the best way uh, to express myself? And I've gone through so many different phases of how to express myself. It's winter now. I just want to be warm, but I am trying to show all of these different versions of myself and all these aspects of my personality. And sometimes I get worried because I'm like, well, this is not my personality, or this I want to show this part of my personality, but it doesn't clash. It clashes with this part, and I'm like over it. And I sometimes I don't like to shave my legs, and I'm tired of it. And I spent so much money on skincare products, and I'm never gonna get a facelift. I'm sorry. First of all, I can't afford it. Second of all, no. And I I am trying to be. Mm, the phrase is not more feminine. The phrase is the best version of femininity for me, but also the best version of masculinity, I guess. One of like the main reasons there's a couple of reasons why I decided to lose weight this year, mainly because I was just like not my body was not happy where it was, and I also wasn't as happy, but um, I felt like masculine, but masculine in a way I didn't want, that I didn't like, that I felt like it was being put on me. And maybe part of it has to do with being a black woman and how I am already inherently masculinized. Like, people just put masculine energy upon me because I'm a black woman, therefore I am more masculine somehow. Um, but I just didn't want to feel that. I feel like people are masculinizing me against my will, and I want to do it for me. I wanted to do it in my way, on my own terms. Um, and I don't know. There's no conclusion to this. I think about the things I do. I get a full Brazilian. It's easier to clean up, but it costs so much money. And but I don't. I want certain areas to be free. But do they all? Do they? Does it all have to be free? And I was also thinking because a guy said it. I was like, shut up. Why am I thinking about a guy and the decision when it comes to my pubic hairs? Shut up. People will eat anything, you know? It doesn't matter. But then I saw my friend doesn't do it. And I was like, where am I in my life? Why am I making these decisions? What do I actually want, right? How do I want to present myself? I'm afraid I'm going to lose my butt. The only time I can have an ass, apparently, is if I gain 20 pounds. But then my knees don't like it. So the knees are not a good, it's not a good payoff, okay? And my stomach was not a good payoff either. So I'm now doing body recomposition where I'm trying to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. Can I get the slim thick situation going on? I don't know. But I'm tired of having a wide rib cage. You know, it's crazy because I will be hot. I've been hot at every stage of my life, right? But it's in every iteration of me. But it's not like I've always felt it. And I'm trying to figure out what it is, right? I'm trying to find the perma me. I've heard that there's like parts of you, or maybe there's a major part of you, or the whole part of you, who knows, that settles when you reach a certain age. And I am at that age, right? And I'm like, are things settling? Because I feel so antsy. I feel so not myself. Like I've always been myself, but I don't know what that self is. I don't know who she is. I don't think I've ever known who she is. I'm trying to figure out who that is. So I can dress for my body and I can present myself accurately 100% of the time. And that is probably something that no one ever has to like truly worry about. Like if you go out in sweats, right? You just go out in sweats. Like even if you're like you're like a fashionista, you're always like dressed up to the nines and you dress up, you're in sweats, you're probably like, oh my gosh, I hope no one looks at me like this is not even my best fit, right? Or like the idea that you always have to look fresh, right? Because you could die any moment, and the outfit you wear when you die, that's like your forever outfit. But like that's different about like it's like looking cool all the time, but like not like who are you though? And I'm like, who am I? You know, I like people people are fashionistas and they go out and they wear sweats. They're like, well, this isn't me. But they know that's not them. But I will go out and wear sweats sometimes, and then sometimes I'll dress up, and then sometimes I'll wear this or some casual whatever. And I'm like, I don't know. I just kind of needed to leave the house. So that's where I am. This is too long. I have to cut it down. That's it.